My guest tonight, of course, a terrific actress who starred in That 70s Show and is the voice of Meg on Family Guy. She's also appeared in such movies as Black Swan, Ted, and Bad Moms. Her latest film, 4 Good Days, is streaming right now. She's been very nice to us over the years. Please welcome our friend Mila Kunis! Isn't it nice? Do you feel weird in front of a crowd? Or I felt immediate relief when we got our first crowd.
There's like an aspect of it that's like a little emotional. You know what I mean? Like you feel like the world was ending yesterday and all of a sudden you're like, I'm at the Largo and everything's okay.
Yeah. That's a nice feeling. I think we all feel that way.
Yeah, this is really nice. Look at your beautiful audience.
Yeah. Beautiful.
So crazy.
We don't know how beautiful they are because they're still wearing masks.
Their eyes are real
Their
pretty.
eyes are gorgeous.
Eyes are so pretty.
I think some of the best foreheads I've ever seen. I'm trying to think of, because we all went through this 15-month period, but I know that I ran into you during the
remember?
I'm trying to remember. It was because we sort of lived near each other up at the beach, and
Let me remind you.
Yeah, please remind me.
So,
I meet so many celebrities.
It's peak of pandemic, July 4th weekend. My husband decides to procure fireworks. Legally. And we're like, listen, it's for the kids. No one's here. You know, we'll just set them off on the beach. It's gonna be safe. He's from Iowa. He knows how to do this. So we are setting off said fireworks, and no one's on the beach. I mean, it is nobody there. And all of a sudden, fireworks are like, pew, 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 pew. And then we see this. But with like a hoodie, just like.
I'm not Mr. Burns on The Simpsons.
Conan, you literally walked in like this.
Well, first of all, that's my usual expression.
Okay.
He does that when he sees people enjoying themselves.
I'm like the Grinch,
But it's dark. So
Yes.
it was hard to like fully understand what was happening. But I was with a friend of mine at the time and she turned to me, she goes, I was like, oh my God, someone's coming towards us, we're gonna get in trouble. This person's coming, just kind of stands there next to the pew pew fireworks. And she goes, oh my God, it's Conan O'Brien. And I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. And then like, do you remember I ran towards you?
Yeah.
And I was gonna hug you?
Yeah.
And I was like, hey.
Yeah, but-
hey. Like all of a sudden I was like, I don't know how to
But you know what? Women were doing that to me long before the pandemic. My whole life has been, yeah, we're good. We're good. No, it was so emotional, and it was so funny because what you're not describing accurately is these fireworks, I don't know where Ashton went to
Don't legally
he must know people in the military because the reason I came over is I saw major explosions down the beach and I'm on patrol, you know? Ashton's walking around, he's like wearing shorts and when they're about done, he kicks over a giant can with his boot. It just,
Being from Iowa, I'm not from Iowa, so for me, I was like, this is wrong. And he was like, I got this.
Yeah.
And like set up a whole course of legally purchased fireworks.
Yeah. These were the safest fireworks I've ever seen, that's for sure. I do not walk around like that.
You did, with a hoodie.
Okay, well, whatever. You know, I gotta hide this thing, you know? I remembered, I was thinking about it today. I think you came on our show, you were so young, I think it was, and I was asking someone today and they looked it up and they said they think you came on my show on your 21st birthday.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And I don't
one
think...
of the first shows I've ever done.
Yeah.
You were the kindest, nicest person to me ever. To this day, of all the talk shows that I was ever privileged to do, you're hands down my favorite.
Well, we have a picture. It's really hard to be mean to you, to be honest with you.
But really, tell us about the ones that were shitty to you.
But we have a picture here of you on the first time, and it's like your 21st birthday.
Oh my God, how crazy is that? Yeah.
And it's
Oh, you're sweet.
no,
Thank
but you know what's amazing about you, and we've talked about this before, Andy. There are people. It's rare. Most people sort of put on a persona when they come on a little bit. You're always you. You're you if I run into you on the beach. You're you. Wherever I see you, you're you. You're you right here. And you've always been kind of, you're just naturally funny and fun to talk to. Were you nervous when you first started going on talk shows? Because you never seemed it.
No, I couldn't believe that I was allowed to.
Right.
Like, I didn't look at it as a job or a chore. Like, I genuinely look at this as like, I just have to make sure I don't curse. That's the only thing, that's the only difference
You
between...
can curse here if you want. We're on basic cable. So.
I'm trying really hard. This is the only thing that I know that I shouldn't do.
Right.
Otherwise, I look at this as just like a genuine opportunity to like get to know other people. And like, I grew up watching late night talk. Like, this is what I grew up on. So for me to be a part of it the first time, I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. Why would I be nervous? Like, I might never do this again. Like, I never thought that like I would see you like a couple years later. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't something, how long has it been now? Almost 20 years. But like, it's not something that I thought would continue.
I want to ask you about your family. Everybody good, though? I want to make sure that...
Yes, we
You have 2 kids?
Yes.
And I've seen you guys with them, and you're... I mean, I have. I've seen you... Ashton just throws them.
But then he'll go, babe, I don't know why my back hurts. And I was like, I do, because you're old and chucking babies. Like, he doesn't, I mean, oldish. You know what I'm saying? Over 40.
Yeah. But no, I've seen him on the beach a couple of times with you guys, and you're just like real parents, and he'll pick one of the kids and just throw it in the air and maybe catch it. Maybe.
That's what
60% of the time, he'll go for it.
Sand is soft. Sand is soft.
So they're 6 and 4, is that right?
4,
What are they into at those ages?
So my son's into cars, obsessed with cars. And we have hundreds of cars, little toy cars, RC cars, cars that flip, all cars of all kinds. And then my daughter's into space. So like anything to do with outer space, the solar system, planets.
That all sounds about right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very cute. There was at school they like ask you like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And my daughter was like, I want to be an astronaut chef. And I was like, that's so cute. Okay. Like, she likes cooking and
you know, the food up there is notoriously bad, so it's not a...
Wyatt's gonna change all that. And my son's answer was, a dinosaur. And so I was like, well, such a species of life. You have my daughter who's like chef in space, and my son's like, not T-Rex.
You know, it's funny, because I would think that you and Ashton would be very good at keeping your kids grounded, because I know when I first met you and you would come on the show, you would tell these stories. First of all, you would achieve this amazing success of being on that 70s show and being a star and being 21 years old, but you would get into fights with your parents. And I remember you once told me, oh yeah, I had a big fight with my parents, and so they grounded me, so I have to take the bus to the lot to film that 70s show.
Yeah.
And I thought, that is, A, amazing parenting. Like, that's absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And B, you were like, well, you know, that's what you have to do. You could have probably rented your own helicopter. You didn't do it.
I guess I did, yes. It happened twice. And they took my keys away.
Twice?
Yeah, twice.
What did you do to get grounded?
You know what? To this day, I probably talk back. Like, I come from a very old school family, so it doesn't. I was a very good kid, but you just don't talk back. Like, they took my car keys away, and the first time my parents left me $1.25, where my car keys normally are, and they both went to work, and I woke up ready to go to my car and go to work, and then there was like $1.25, and I was like.
So you get on the bus, you take it to the lot, you get off in front of the lot, and you go in to be one of the stars of a TV show.
Yes, and guess who drove me home?
Was it Ashton?
Yeah. Yeah.
Sweet.
It's very sweet. We have a couple of those stories, yeah. I also hated chemistry. Hated. Very good at physics, calculus, math, loved it. Hated chemistry. And to this day, he likes to tell everyone that he did all my chemistry homework for me.
Was that true? Did he?
100% true.
Wow. All right, now you guys have been, during the pandemic, you were homeschooling your kids, kind of. You have to
We
give them lessons.
homeschooled until we didn't. So
That would be like
So-
2 days for me.
Yeah.
Listen.
So they can't read.
It's fine. There's speech reader. Well, let me tell you, Conan, I have skills in life, and being a teacher is just not one of them, and that's okay. Like, that's okay. The second we finished off that last year, and then in the new school year, we started a pod school and hired wonderful tutors.
Okay.
Yeah.
You tagged out at a certain point.
I did, because it was hard to work full time and teach the children and parent the children. Like,
Right.
it became, none of us liked each other. I didn't like them, they didn't like me. It was just,
Right.
it wasn't,
Right.
you know.
I completely know. My kids are very happy when I go someplace. They like to see me come home for a brief period of time. They like evidence that I've come home, and then they don't want to see more of me.
Yeah.
So if I was around and especially if I was trying to teach them anything, it would be insane. So.
Yeah. Yeah, my kids like me a little bit more than that. But like, I mean,
They're young. They're young.
No. All right, I want to ask you about this. You have jumped into the world of cryptocurrency, and you talk about.
Yes.
I don't understand it, and I know
Sure.
people say I don't understand it. I honestly don't understand it. I've asked my son, who's very bright at this stuff, to explain
Yeah.
it to me, and he says he doesn't want to try because he knows I will not understand. So I don't know what it's all about, but I know that you've really gotten into it.
So, yes, in quarantine, some people took up baking and knitting, and I deep dived into crypto and NFTs. And I'll tell you why, like, all jokes aside, is because it made me nervous, and I felt like it was a very masculine area. Like, everybody that I knew that knew anything about it at the time was always a man. And I was like, it's gonna be that hard.
Right.
And you know, it was the pandemic, and so I just deep dived into it and surrounded myself with two incredibly smart women that know everything about it, that, you know, started Libra for Facebook and whatnot, and educated myself on crypto, on the ethos of crypto, on what crypto is in the world of the, you know, decentralized marketplace, like everything that it stands for.
Right.
And found it to be really empowering. And then I was like, well, this is fun. What next? And then I decided to deep dive into NFTs. And so through the pandemic, created a piece of a form of entertainment called Stoner Cats that we're releasing in a couple weeks. That is an NFT,
Yep.
and you can buy such Stoner Cats, and then that is your token to then watch a 5-minute long piece of entertainment
It actually
of a
sounds
show
like
called Stoner Cats.
It sounds like a cool idea, and I know you've had experience in animation and comedy. So we have, I think we have a picture here of the Stoner Cats.
This is, yep, and it's really cool, guys, because I'll tell you,
They're very,
guys,
yeah.
so here's the thing, Conan.
I was gonna say cats just sit around anyway.
Well, guess what happens when they get stoned?
Yeah.
So this was all done by really brilliant people at home after work. So the animator, the writer, the director all did Toy Story 2s and the Spider-Verse and Space Jam and all these incredible movies, and the people that we got to do the voices, everybody just did it because they thought that it was different and fun, and we all wanted to do it for the right reasons. And it brings ownership of content back to the artist and cuts out the middleman. And so if people like the NFTs and they buy it as tokens, then more shows will be made.
We have a picture too of your character.
Fifi, yep.
Yeah. I
Oh,
think we
she's
have-
real cute, guys. Check her out.
Look at those eyes.
I mean, come on.
And you're really busy because you were working on 4 Good Days, and this is this is completely different tone, obviously.
Oh yeah, how are you gonna transition from this to
There's no
fourth?
way to There's no way to transition.
That was it. Yeah.
Well, this is pot, and then we get into a much heavier substance. The last topic was the gateway drug for this topic. But it's really a harrowing story. This
Yeah.
movie is a really harrowing story,
Yeah.
and it's about
It's a true story.
addiction, true story.
Yeah, based on an article that was written a couple years ago about a mother-daughter. And what I genuinely loved about it was it's not a story about drugs, and it's not a story about like why you shouldn't do drugs. It's not. It's just two people's life set in the world of 4 days, and they just have to survive these 4 days. About a young woman. This all happened. An addict goes to rehab, public rehab, pays for 3 days of detoxing, and then the next is up to you. And there's a shot you can get if you're sober for 7 days. You can get a shot that prevents you from getting high, and so she just has to stay sober for 4 days. And the film is through the lens of these two women. Glenn Close and myself play mother-daughter, and it takes place in a house, and it's just a matter of will she or won't she.
That's amazing. Your co-stars.
I mean, come on, I just said Glenn Close, like it's no big deal. It's a big deal, Conan.
Yeah,
I'm
I know.
fully aware. I'm not gonna be an asshole. It's like, guys, it's no big deal.
Right.
It's a big deal.
Yeah.
And being with her all day long, every day, was like genuinely one of the greatest gifts that I could have had. And then pandemic hit the day after we wrapped. I mean, it couldn't have been any more like, the world is so amazing. I'm working with Glenn Close. The world is ending. Everything is shutting down. Everybody's like, it all was very extreme feelings.
We have a clip here. Anything you need to tell us about this? I think it's pretty intense.
I think it's pretty. I mean, I think you guys get it. Like, the impetus of the film is she goes to rehab. She comes out of rehab. She now has to spend 4 days with her mom.
Let's look at this clip from 4 Good Days.
Hey, what drugs are you using?
Heroin, methadone, some crack, Vicodin, and maybe Adderall.
Last time you used?
Yesterday morning. So I'm hurting.
How long have you been addicted?
10 years. More.
Have you ever been through detox?
Mm-hmm.
How many times?
14.
Excuse me?
14 times.
So, this is fully based on real events, real life. And Glenn and I were both really fortunate to talk to both the women in today. And like, it is it is day to day. Like,
Yeah.
it is a disease, right? And it's not one of those where like, and everything's great and there's a happy ending and
Right.
it's not. And this is the real life, eyes into it.
Yeah, and I'm quite certain you could probably talk to anybody here and in this audience. Everybody knows someone who's gone through this, at least somebody or a family member.
Oh, 100%.
It's insane how prevalent it is and tragic. But
Yeah.
Good for you for doing this. It's absolutely
Thank you.
incredible. 4
I
Good
had a lot of
Days.
fun.
Yeah. 4 Good Days is available now on digital and video on demand. And I'll say this, we're going to pack this up and move on to other things, but it has been a real treasure. Every single time I talk to you, whether it's on this show or bumping into out in the world, you're a real person, and you're genuine and really funny and lovely, and just a joy to know you. So Mila Kunis, thank you so much. Seriously.